So tell us about yourself. How did you end up in the forest here, especially considering you're basically our enemy?
My name is Montag, and for the record, I don't consider myself to be your enemy or vice versa. I am really just a confused man in search of answers, and I would love to have your help for some of those answers. I want to make it known that my past does not define me, and I was truly fathered into my career as a firefighter, and up until just recently, I had never thought about my actions. I simply set fires without knowing why we did such a thing. This is good. I can honestly tell you that my ignorance is and will be my biggest regret. So again, as far as being your enemy goes, I want you to know that I didn't know what I was doing, and I actually do see the value in books. That's actually why I'm here. I need to know why books are so special. I felt trapped in that world. My wife never felt emotions. I was forced to hurt others for their passions. My feelings were invalid because everyone was numb and couldn't care less about anything or anyone. I wasn't allowed to read. I recently found the excitement that books had to offer, and I assure you, I am here as an ally. After risking my life to try to find answers, I found myself alone, having lost everything. So long story short, I am here fully as an ally and only wishing for answers and some support.
So what is society like now, and have the firemen realized the importance of knowledge yet? Is everyone still numb to the world, and are people still treated the same?
Now society is pretty messed up. People are still living in a world where books are banned and burned by firemen. They spend all their time watching TV and don't really think for themselves. It's like they're stuck in a bubble where they don't even realize what they're missing out on. As for us firemen, I started to realize how important knowledge is. I met some people who still love books and learning, and it changed my whole way of thinking. But most other firemen are still pretty clueless and dumb to the world. They just do what they're told without really questioning it. So I guess some people are starting to wake up. But a lot of them are still asleep, if you know what I mean. People are still treated the same. If you're different or you go against rules, you've seen as a threat, and you could get in big trouble. But like I said, some people are starting to rebel against the way things are, and they're treated pretty badly because of it. So I guess it's still a pretty tough place to live if you want to be yourself and think for yourself.
And at what point did you come to your senses about the value of books? What made you change your mind? And how did those around you challenge you in that way?
Some time ago, I was on a seemingly normal work mission, setting yet another fire. What made this assignment different was the feeling I got. It had been a while since I had felt something, and I felt myself connecting with the lady, the house that we had invaded. I knew that she had half the reason to give her life for the sake of books, so I had to experience the value of books for myself. I wanted to feel what it felt like to care about something enough to risk my life for it. I also began to get the curiousness about the principles of society when I met a young girl named Clarice. Clarice made me feel heard. She cared about what I had to say, and despite her young age, she seemed to know what education meant, inspiring me to want to explore reading even more. As far as people around me challenging me, my wife, Mildred, has never seemed to care about me or my interests. And I approached her about my curiosity. My feelings were met with unsupportive, emotionless response. As much as I wanted to respect her and not pursue my interest in discovering the value of books, I knew that I had to further investigate for my own sake and well-being. She never made me feel heard or cared about, so it was time for me to take matters in my own hands in order to feel something for once.
Okay, so what'd you do after realizing your values, learning, no longer aligned with society's ideals, or simply enjoying life? What'd you learn when you tried to open your mind to the possibility that books are special?
I knew way before that my values didn't align with the rest of society. I had kept my love for reading and knowledge hidden from the world at first by taking books and hiding them from everyone. When our fire squad lit the old woman's house on fire, amidst all the carnage, I stole a book from her. I tried to get my wife, Mildred, to read alongside me so we could get a better understanding of books together. She was resistant to reading, and even scared of the books. She preferred entertainment that gave her happiness and drowned her in realities separate from the real world. She preferred to spend time with her TV family rather than me, her actual family. She wanted to tell BD about my book collection, but I stopped her. When I started reading these books on my own, I couldn't understand the words or the concepts in the books, especially the Bible. So I sought out help from an old English professor named Faber. He told me about the importance of books and the knowledge they contain. When I was an on-duty fireman, I stole a verse from the Bible from one of the homes we were in and hid it in my ventilator. I tried to read it, but I couldn't understand anything. I tried repeating words to myself, like den hem gentrifies, to help remember, but it wasn't clicking. When I found Faber, we talked about how the nation doesn't like knowledge and how they're focused on pleasure and material things. I learned a lot from Faber, my environment, and then eventually you guys. The main thing I learned was that there was a whole community out there who have the same ambitions and value education as much as I do.
That's good. No, we're happy that you're here with us. Is there a symbol that could capture your enchantment with, reading or your newfound passions? And what would that symbol be and why?
I'd say a symbol that represents me and my journey is the phoenix. In the beginning, as you know, I was a firefighter. I used to burn books and suppress the people from pursuing knowledge. After I met Clarice, she provoked an emotion inside of me that I had previously suppressed, a hunger for knowledge and books. Another way a phoenix represents me is that it signifies being reborn. I felt reborn and reformed from my old life when I started to read the books that I took from the houses that we used to rent. What pushed me over the edge from being a firefighter is the old woman. When she refused to leave the house, Dee Dee and the rest of the fire squad incinerated her along with the house. I pretended to feel sick that day so I could take that day off of work. When I went back, I started to question my line of work in society. I was reborn and decided to pursue knowledge by finding people that were like me. A phoenix burns itself and is reborn with a new form. I burned my old belief system and the belief systems of society, and I was reborn with an open mind that is rebellious and interested in the hidden knowledge that the world contains. A final way the phoenix represents me is resiliency. I traversed through many conflicts to get to where I am right now. From Mildred to BD to the chase that led me here, conflict has been following me a lot recently. Despite all the things that kept me from getting here, I am here. Thank you for accepting me, and I hope I can be a value of society by redistributing knowledge when society is ready.